Hello and welcome to the Filmhouse Show, the home of movies and cinema in Nigeria. My name is Joke Akinola, and I'm coming to you from the Leisure Mall in Surulere, where I'll be enjoying the day at the Filmhouse Cinema. Key to everything we do is to get you guys at home involved in the cinema experience. So if you haven't seen the past episodes or just want to keep up to date with us, follow us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's the Filmhouse Cinemas. On Twitter is @Filmhouse Cinema, and on Instagram is @Filmhouse Cinema. Let's see what's coming up on today's show.
We have a rundown on the latest film showing in cinemas across Nigeria. We have a Nollywood director in the house to talk about his latest movie. On Once to Watch, we spoke with actor Demola Adedoyin from October 1. The fans reveal their answers to our questions of the day on Fan Zone. It's a packed show, so stay tuned.
Welcome back. I've just gotten my ticket for the movie I'm here to see. But while I wait, let's check in with the fans to see what movies they're here to watch.
I'm here to see The Finest Art because it's a true story and I'd like to see what happens.
I'm here to see a couple of days and because it's a Nollywood movie and I like Nollywood, basically.
Okay, I'm here to see a couple of days. You know, I hear it's a new Nollywood movie that has gotten everybody buzzing. It's gone viral. And the trailers I've seen has been very interesting. You know, it makes for an interesting watch.
I'm here to watch Ride Along. And the reason why it's because Ride Along is a comedy. I need something to make me laugh at the end of the day, at least to release tension and stress, just something to make me laugh.
I'm here to see Ride Along too because I've seen one and it was fantastic. So that's what the fans are here to see. What will you be watching this weekend? Here's a quick rundown of the movies showing across cinemas in Nigeria.
The only safe thing to do is track a new course back up online.
While exploring the enchanted wilderness in 1823, legendary frontiersman Hugh Glass, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, sustains injuries from a brutal bear attack. When his hunting team leaves him for dead, Glass must utilize his survival skills to find a way back home to his beloved family. Islamic militants attacked the US consulate in Libya, killing an ambassador and officer for the Foreign Service. Stationed less than 1 mile away are members of the Annex Security Team, former soldiers assigned to protect operatives and diplomats in the city. As the assault rages on, the 6 men engage in a fierce firefight to save the lives of the remaining Americans. Brad Taggart, played by Will Ferrell, is a kind-hearted radio executive who wants to be the best possible stepfather to his wife's 2 children. When her ex-husband Dusty, played by Mark Wahlberg, breezes back into town, Brad's feelings of insecurity quickly develop into an inferiority complex. As Dusty demonstrates his flair for athletics, home repair and bad boy charisma, Taggart finds himself in a no-holds-barred battle to one-up his rival and win the approval of his family.
It started coordinated attacks on metropolitan areas.
The human race stands on the brink of extinction as a series of alien attacks disseminate the planet. Separated from her family, Ohio teenager Cassie will do whatever it takes to reunite with her brother Sam. Fate leads her to form an alliance with Evan, a mysterious young man who may be her last hope. Forced to trust each other, Cassie and Evan fight for survival during the 5th assault from the invaders.
Coming up next are the movies currently showing from the Nollywood and Bollywood scene.
Let's not fight. No, I'm not fighting. No, come out now.
Moji is a young Oxford-educated woman with a passion for social justice and equality. Trapped in a culture and tradition that legitimizes tyranny and injustice, she becomes engaged to Benji, the eldest son of Uncle Gregory, her father's best friend who saved the family business from bankruptcy. Beyond Blood is a story of love, betrayal, hope, and a desire to make a positive change in society, irrespective of personal trials and tribulations.
We caught up with one of the stars of a new Nollywood flick coming out this weekend, Demola Adedoyin on the Ones to Watch. Here's his interview.
Hi, I'm Demola Adedoyin. I'm an actor, filmmaker, and entrepreneur. How did I end up in film? Well, basically, I studied a lot of the stuff that fascinated me as a child, you know, art, film itself, you know, like just a lot of different creative things, music as well. And I spent a lot of time studying these different things academically. And of course, I also wanted to have the experience out of school. So I was always doing a lot of practice, doing different things, drawing, sketching, music, and stuff like that. And after I got my master's degree, I went to film school because I felt like I had natural talent as an actor, but I didn't have expertise as a filmmaker, and this is something I wanted to do as well. My plan was, when I came back to Nigeria, to try to seek out the people who are doing well at this sort of thing and see, you know, where I can mix it in with them, where I can get in, where I can fit in. And I'm related to Kunle Afolayan, who, of course, you all know, one of the greatest filmmakers in Nigeria, Africa, if you like. And I used to throw my stuff at him. If I do a little skit, I'll send it over to him. I used to bug him to give me criticism. Of course, he used to diss all my videos because he's, of course, on another different standard. When I got back, I had been working on my music, and I was working with Tola Odunsi of Storm Records. He wanted me to master my stuff at the Storm Records studio. I was doing that with their producer, Babzo, for a while. And then he had this idea for a TV show, which I thought was brilliant. And he had the funding, and it was time to go, so I had to stop the music, and we had to start filming The Island. And while I was filming that, October 1 was in pre-production. Of course, I had been staying on Kule's, basically wringing his neck for however I could be involved at any level. And he called me to come over to his office to read something. And, you know, I was wondering, what is it about? Why should I come all the way out of town if you don't have anything for me? He said, just come to my office. So I went there, we read the script, and I just thought, in like 2 pages of reading the script, the material was so compelling. I was just like, anything for guys, like, you know, how can I get involved in this? A couple of days. New film by first-time director Tolu Lord-Tanner, who he used to be a theater guy, and this is his first proper feature production. I'd never really heard of him before. He got my number from someone who knew someone who, you know, knew him. He called me directly, told me about the film. He sent me the script. I mean, I read the, you know, the character Bible, the basic framework, and it seemed interesting. One thing that always interests me about this film thing is getting to play someone that's not like me. That is, well, it's important to me now. I don't know how that's going to be in the future. I mean, I liked this Prince Aderopo character because, you know, he was an extremely, you know, a very strong character. But I think this guy is he's a bit weak. He's a bit of a whiner. So if I had to choose between acting and music, or if I had no choice, if I had a gun to my head, I would definitely, why do I have to choose? I would definitely choose film. I would definitely choose acting because, I don't know, I feel I have a much more natural talent with that. Hey, this is Demola Adedoyin. I'm an actor, filmmaker, and entrepreneur. Keep watching the Filmhouse Show.
Welcome back to the Filmhouse Show. My name is Joke Akinola, and I'm still enjoying the day at the Filmhouse Cinema. Make sure to keep up to date with us on all our social media platforms. There is this never-ending debate about whether Hollywood movies are better than the movies made in the Nollywood industry. But with the increase in passionate and skilled Nigerian filmmakers, the quality and standard of our movies is giving Hollywood a run for its money. Now let's find out what the fans think when we ask them which they prefer, Nollywood or Hollywood.
I'm a fan of Nollywood movies, so I'm good with it because I'm a proud Nigerian. I like Nigeria. So.
I'm really a big fan of Hollywood movies, but I've noticed that our Nollywood movies they've improved a lot. For instance, the 50 movie that is still showing, the quality, the storyline, everything is amazing. So I'm beginning to get inclined to Nollywood movies a bit. You know.
I'll take both. It all depends on who's in it and what it's about, basically.
Well, actually, I prefer Hollywood. It's not as if I don't like Nollywood. We're trying. We're doing our best, but once in a while, it's good to watch quality stuff. I won't say Nollywood, there's no quality in Nollywood. There is, but personally, I prefer Hollywood.
I'll say Nollywood because I feel Nollywood is getting better and I love Nollywood. I always want to support them.
Could you imagine being trapped at sea on a sinking ship with only a few hours to live before your ship sinks? That was the true story of the Coast Guard's men who were involved in the 1952 recovery off the coast of Massachusetts. The Finest Hour depicts this story of bravery and heroism. Here's a behind-the-scenes look at this movie.
Well, they're saying this is going to be the biggest storm that ever hit the East Coast.
Station Chatham, we've got an 18-foot fracture in our hull.
The Finest Hours is a great, true story about the most successful small boat rescue in Coast Guard history.
I'm not giving up on him. Not on my watch.
This is about the heroics of everyday people.
Wait!
They go into these seas that just look like they are monsters come to life.
That's Chris Pine. He's a big star.
Andy Fitzgerald and Mel Guthrie showed up, two of the heroic people who actually lived it.
The fisherman said to us, don't do it, you know? You're crazy. You're crazy.
Hold on!
But our job is to rescue people that were in trouble.
And these 4 men on a 35-foot wooden boat saved 32 men off of this oil tanker and on a boat designed to carry 12 people.
Bravery doesn't really capture it. Courage is not quite big enough a word. It's something else.
Whether it be a police officer or a fireman, Coast Guard, Guardsmen, or Army, they're putting their lives on the line for us.
We lost the pubs. It's a real story about people in a terrifying situation who work together so that they can survive.
It's going to be extraordinary. You want to do justice to these men.
The compass is gone!
It's a big action movie with amazing effects.
She's a T2 tanker, split right in half.
We got maybe 2-3 hours, and then we sink.
Chief, pick yourself a crew, and you assist that ship.
In the Finest Hours, we have a great bunch of dudes. We spend hours out on that boat.
It's a tough shoot for the actors, and they really persevered with it. These guys came together, and it came from a true place.
We're not giving up on him. Not on my watch.
Chris Pine is fantastic. It is cold, and it is wet, and it is good to have somebody who is a leader and keeps the spirits up among the rest of the cast. Chris definitely does that.
Chris, he's got just a ton of natural charisma. He's very likable. You root for him. I spent a lot of time with all of these guys. It's like summer camp, you know, times 10.
Betsy! The engine died!
I liked building the teamwork as we went on. It's built a camaraderie up. We had to go over a wave, and everybody had to shout out commands. It was just this moment of, this is it. This is the team. This is how they did it.
You got about 5 seconds, boys!
These guys are real deal actors. They're hard workers. These guys are builders. We come to work and we build things together. It's been a pleasure working with these fellas.
You okay?
I'm having a great time now, Bertie! Lot of fun!
You spend so much time making these films that the friendships you make and people you meet, those are the things that last. I'm really grateful for that.
We all live, but we all die. Hold on!
That was a very deep story indeed. Make sure you catch it because it's currently out in the cinema. Another movie that's coming out this weekend is Couple of Days. It's a Nollywood romantic comedy, and I've got here with me the director and writer of this movie, Tolu Tanner, aka Lord Tanner. Hi Tolu, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
First of all, before I even start with the movie,
okay.
Your name, Lord Tanner. Very interesting name. What's that about?
Okay, so I picked that up sometime, back in school.
Okay.
And my initials used to be T-A-N-A, and so you hear some people pronounce it Tana, Tana. So it's stuck,
So you just poshified it?
Yes, and poshified it.
I made it Tana?
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of days.
Yes.
What inspired this movie? Because you wrote it, yeah?
Yeah. Okay, so basically we have wanted to have something that, spoke to women.
Okay.
We actually had it developed from a stage production. It was initially titled for a small group of women.
Okay.
And so we wrote something that, talked about gossiping. It was called Tito Tato.
Which we women do all the time.
And what we decided to do was, okay, so this seemed like an interesting script. So I pitched it to my executive producer.
Okay.
He read 5 different scripts and he picked this one. And I was like, why this one, And he said he thought that this would relate to a lot of people.
Okay.
A lot of homes, a lot of families, a lot of young couples, a lot of intending couples, And so we eventually, while we were developing the story, then we went over couples. Okay, so like couple of days. So what we really put in there was couples that will last for many days, or couples that will last all the days.
So, second question.
Yeah.
The actors in this movie, or should I say the actors and the actresses, are really beautiful people. Did you do this on purpose? Like, I don't understand. There's no ugly person in your film.
Okay, so our intention was not necessarily to get pretty people.
Okay.
The intention was to get characters that fit exactly, that fit into what we wanted. What we wanted was people who would, carry the message organically. They would seem very natural, like they were in the homes and this thing was happening. And I think all the guys on our cast, excellent guys. As a director, I didn't have a lot of work to do. So they go in, the assistant director takes them through the lines, they run in once, and I'm like, if I touch this, I'll spoil it. So,
wow.
Guys just roll.
So those actors
they were
on
fantastic,
point.
fantastic. Lillian, Einaya, Kiki, Demola, Oke and Adesua, and I must mention Fowles.
Oh yes, Fowles like features in it, doesn't he?
Fowles, so sometimes things are rolling and I'm looking at my assistant director and saying, hello, is that in the script? Is that in the script? It's, the guy is just hilarious.
Wow.
It's just downright hilarious.
So
unbelievable. Crazy guy.
Okay, so this movie, you wrote it.
Yeah.
Have you written like previous movies before? Is this your first attempt? Like.
Okay, so like in every screenwriter's catalog, there are like
1,001.
Okay, so I don't have 1,000, but plus or minus 20.
Okay.
Different scripts, different ideas that are in development, and couple of days. In fairness, I cannot take all the credit for it because as I write, I also pitch. I send it to people and they give me feedback. And, Ayo, my executive producer, he didn't just do only executive producing, he also produced, And so he would sit with me and say, no, that doesn't sound right, this conversation doesn't sound right. And it went back and forth for a while until we got what we finally, settled with. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what is, or should I say, who is this movie sort of geared towards? Who should come and watch it?
Okay, so I always say, well, women, if you don't want to miss this, you don't want to miss this.
Yeah, I like rom-com.
It really, really relates to what happens, in people's homes.
Okay.
But of course, nothing happens without the guys. So I'd ask the girls, drag your guy along. You guys
so it's
will
a
have
date
something.
night kind of movie.
Yes, you have something to talk about when you're done.
You were telling me before we started this interview that it's funny, but it's also thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Like it's the sort of movie that can make you evaluate your relationship after. I find that interesting.
Okay, so the intention, is not just to tell a story, not just to entertain alone.
Okay.
But I promise you it's a feel-good movie. There are a lot of good things to see.
Yeah.
But very importantly, we want you to go home with the thoughts. Let me pitch in that our story ends properly.
Yeah.
But then we left something as a hook to follow up.
Cliffhangers. We hate those, don't we?
Yeah, imagine. But then we're hoping that we can start a conversation that people will take home.
Yeah.
And then ask, what happens next, which is exactly what they do with series. Everyone loves series.
True.
So
nice, short and sweet.
Can we create something that that people we get people talking and then they say, okay, we want more.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
I should mention at this point that although the movie has just come out, it's already been nominated for an AMVCA award. That shows you how good it is. So make sure you watch it this weekend. But before you do, here's the trailer.
I was thinking we should get out of town this weekend with the wives. My place in Ibadan.
Great, fantastic. It's going to be our first getaway since our honeymoon.
I'm sure the girls would love that.
Whoa.
How can my wife be telling her friends my thing isn't working? What is going on?
Help me ask you about it.
Jesus!
Shelby, we are all friends. We are friends here. It's confession time. Tell them whether your thing is working. Tell them whether it's working.
See, Jude? Now that is a normal. I said Jude is not perfect.
Where are you?
I'm in doctors, of course.
It's 11 p.m. and it's time for husbands and wives.
Your voice will have guests in the house.
Jude. Wow.
Jealousy makes you look ugly, dear.
The house is boiling. Judy? I'm sure you know we wouldn't want you discussing that. It's strangers, right?
It was a big night for black actors at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, recognizing the outstanding motion picture and primetime television performances of 2015. Idris Elba took home 2 major wins for outstanding performance by a male actor in a television movie or ministries for his starring role in Luther, and for outstanding performance by a male actor in a supporting role in Beasts of No Nation. Other winners included actresses such as Viola Davis, Queen Latifah, and Uzo Aduba. It was a historic year at the recently concluded Sundance Film Festival, with plenty of outstanding films and performances showcasing independent cinema. The festival, which has launched the careers of everyone from Quentin Tarantino to Kevin Smith, has a reputation for edgy, thought-provoking cinema. One of the films that came out on top was Nate Parker's slave rebellion drama, The Birth of a Nation, which took both the grand jury and audience prizes in the US dramatic competition. The film's double-fisted victory sealed its standing as the sensation of the festival's 2016 edition, following its record-shattering $17.5 million acquisition by Fox Searchlight.
Thank you for joining me on this week's episode of the Filmhouse Show. Make sure you tune in every week for all your movie updates, and follow us on our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's the Filmhouse Cinemas. On Twitter, it's at Filmhouse Cinema. And on Instagram, it's at Filmhouse Cinemas. I'll see you guys next week. Let's